Hi, 144 is very prominent, 1111. It's much softer today. The energy feels much softer, and actually, a topic of this reading will be spiritual gifts. We'll see what's gonna come through for sure. I don't think I have really outlined for a reading. It's very spontaneous this way, but I'm definitely gonna use some of my experience and knowledge here too. Let's see what wanna come through. You see this card nothingness repeatedly. Ooh, few things. First card which came out is a master. And first thing to say here, a master is not somebody who has spiritual gifts. I don't know if this will resonate well, but the truth is that somebody who is truly a master, it's not somebody who has psychic gifts, it's not somebody who is a psychic healer. Interesting, right? Why is that? So if you, this deck is very important. I think I chose it, I unconsciously chose it, but I think it has extreme relevance here. I went through a lot of traditions, a lot of mystic traditions, most prominently Kabbalah, various mythologies, various mindsets, and I always try to derive from each one of them like the universal substance. So my understanding converges, you know, like searching for absolute truths everywhere. Like this is my mindset. And the really last thing I left for myself is classical yoga. And here there are texts in which there are informations about psychic development, or rather like spiritual development, and powers which come with it. It's about siddhis. I don't know if this is in Yoga Sutras in Patanjali. I'm not 100% sure, but I actually gonna link the video I have now in mind. It is from Igor Kufaya, and he is responding to somebody's question there. I'm gonna try to find it and link it up. So why the master is not a one who has spiritual gifts? Let's see if cards will accompany me with okay, so we have energy of control. So King of Swords, this is intellectual quality. It is a mental capacity to have orientation. This is a capacity to derive intellectual structure from reality surrounding us. It's a methodological, systematic thinking. This is, of course, very important quality of somebody who is a master, where having spiritual gifts usually pushes one into the area which is not where logical thinking does not make any sense. So this intellectualism, or higher intellectualism, will have to be revoked in one who is constantly getting downloads from spiritual realm. Not to the greatest extent, but physical reality in which a King of Swords operates, and will have to be revoked for a while. And a master is somebody who is perfectly merging within himself all the qualities, retaining this energy at all the times with them. They do not revoke it in order to be somewhere else. Other than, of course, in meditation is not the same though. Let's see another card. Here we have abundance in reverse. So here it talks about the material reality and the material gain. This idea about having any kind of material gain all worldly recognition will have to be revoked in order to um, obtain spiritual gifts in the first place. There are many trials. I've been talking lately about. I think somebody in collective needs this reading, because I think somebody here opens. You really opened up the spiritual gifts right now. Somebody is there. Somebody is feeling it. Somebody has this knowledge, has this power, and I simply, out of my heart, want somebody to kind of skip the levels, or not have to deal with what what I had to deal with, the amount of pain on this journey. Um, so revoking, renouncing all well, all worldly possessions, like in the first place, really, not only necessary possessions. Like that's the one thing. Um, Having spiritual gifts is also, you should not do it for your material gain, for material gain, because this would mean you are working with underworld. This would mean that you are going from the top of this cross down to the down, that you are in this tamasic energy, your lower energy, that you operate in the material reality, and those gifts are operating in a material reality. Therefore, here, this is how karma is being produced, and this is the level in which your soul is being revoked, and we don't want that. So oftentimes you have spiritual gift as a sort of gift and a curse. It's really that simple, and you have them for a reason. There is a purpose for it, and usually a purpose is your own what is it called? Well, it's a form of charity or form of altruism. You are giving back to people. You are giving back to others. You are giving back what God gave you. You are giving back the grace of God. And often it happens to, it is often, many people say everybody can have spiritual gifts. I would not say so, from my experience, because it's not great thing to have, and it's much better to skip this long-lasting commitment to give back to the world if you don't have to do it. Because what comes later, and it's like more higher level gift, is when what you speak comes to reality. This is the biggest gift someone has, the gift of manifestation. And this is where it's really hard to arrive. And God and the spirit and guides and people, entities, energies higher than us, they're usually merciful, and they will not let you have this gift until you're truly ready. Because literally everything you say was gonna manifest. Therefore, you have to be ready to go through everything to speak about. Any ill world, any intention, like all of my tarot readings here, let's say. See, the things that are said about others, and it's necessary on a part of the journey. Things which are said about others could turn out to be something I would have to go through. Of course, it's not like this. Of course, it's clear what I'm doing here and why and what's the purpose. Therefore, I am being protected. But on a higher level than that, than what I am on, somebody will have to renounce this level of having spiritual gifts for a sake of living life in full integrity. What comes later on is called kaivalya, and it's an absolute total bliss. Another thing which I think was said in this video, somebody who does have spiritual gifts, and we talk about psychic healers, we talk about people who are being considered being chosen, who are considered being earth angels, psychic healers. Those are people who are impure beings. if they were fully pure beings, if the whole system will be free of all karma, um, they would not be a tarot readers, they would not be a psychic, because there will be nothing in their body which will resonate with anything which would have to be then solved as a tarot reading. You know what I mean? So this is reading for all of those people we also read about oftentimes. There is a motif about a person who wants to obtain this spiritual gift. Oh, if I will have gift like this, I'll just play lotto. If I will have gift like this, I'll just see through somebody's bank number or whatever. Like, this is all things that they are not in the mind of person who has spiritual gifts, because the spiritual journey in spiritual warfare to get here, it's something which will prevent all of it. I don't know, like, of course I'm seeing tarot readers popping and disappearing, like that's very, very common, because either they learned that this is just a level and you will go higher than that, hopefully higher than that, and you don't have to do it anymore, or you will learn that actually you can be a teacher or a guide later on, right? You don't have to do a tarot reading. You just quickly see a situation and you're just problem solving for others. If they have an issue, you coming from a balanced perspective, you acknowledge the other side, you acknowledge what you're guiding. Here, of course, in tarot readings, there is an element of it. And that's what I'm here for, and I'm always pushing towards this other side, the side of guidance. But what I meant to say, there's the other option. There's the option that somebody arrived in this place and how to say it, easier way, fucked around and find out, and their gifts have been completely renounced and they are now in some sort of karma. How to best describe it? What are spiritual gifts? Is when you are already opened your crown chakra, when you already went through your 8th chakra, where is your personal karma from this life and other lifetimes, and they often open for people when they are at the level of 9th chakra, which is like your generational karma here, sometimes national karma as well. This is oftentimes where you will start to have spiritual gifts that's given from your ancestors. That's the gifts your grandmother had. That's why I'm saying this is kind of rare, because your grandmother had to have it. That's why you have it. And oftentimes it be this way. It is kind of in a lineage. And they do come from darkness. That's one thing. They always do come from darkness, primarily. They do come from God, but they come from dark moon. They come from the little being able to perceive this dust we have around. This what is it called? Well, the dark matter, the dust everywhere around us. You are able to tap into this information within. So we are on the level of 9th chakra, and you are now solving karma for your ancestors. You are now working towards solving this generational karma and patterns. They may feel personal to you, they should not feel. At this level, if you are successful, you should undergo full ego death at the level of 8th chakra. And this should not be personal, and should be done altruistically, empathically, and as your work. Right now, that's your work. Here, some people may start to feel them. And I'm thinking, honestly, I don't think I'm on a higher level than edge of 9th chakra yet. And this is when you, of course, there is a more level of unfoldment. So you have a lot of prana running through your body, running through various centers, and finding the universal content. Okay, I can't say I'm on the level of 9. Actually, okay, but doesn't matter. Let's not talk about it. Let's talk about what's happening in here. For example, and this is just an example, it might come from experience, might not. So you may have people in your family, the closest circle, who are actually actively doing black magic, and black magic is a a repeatable theme in, let's say, somebody's lineage. You are at the job. You are literally a kind of hierophant, high priestess, who is being summoned or even standing at the crossroad all the time. You are there. And you are taking care of, for example, younger or less mature, even if it's older. It might be somebody who is 60 years old, and you may take care of it because this person is doing something which will get them in trouble. And the soul is younger, let's say, than yours, and in this particular sense, that you have to come there and intervene, because, let's say, instead of thinking they're doing offerings to Hecate and she's helping them to gain a lot of material abundance, where in fact they are making just a contract with low-level demon, which is up to beyond they ask for the rest of their life, and they don't know about it. You see, so this is kind of job you are doing, let's say, on this particular level, which is, again, just a lot of responsibility. It's not much pleasure here. I'm saying, like, of course there are these fascinating magical moments, visions, but usually you're lending your body, you're lending your own body, which is a container which already doesn't have the structure which attaches you to something. Here you will have to keep a lot of balance, to be almost like a seamless example of a human being which is completely able to operate naturally within society. If that's imbalanced, your gifts are revoked too. So you have to keep the absolute balance and be extremely versatile. And there is this level later on, so it's like a 10th chakra. This is universal chakra. This is usually where good psychics are at. They are tapping into universal energies, collective energies. They finding the patterns which are the most prominent for their particular, like, region, let's say, where they are. So it comes like them, their family, then later on their nation, oftentimes. Their nation and let's say their cultural circle, their background, and so on. Oftentimes here, we are having the impressions or kind of knowledge coming from the other lifetimes we had. And some sort of knowledge is being unlocked and given as a gift from spirit guides here. So this is not a joke, and it's not something to definitely play with. And I'm assuring everybody here, my gifts may be here today, might not be there tomorrow. That's how it be. It all depends on how much upstanding, upright person I will be. The same for everybody else. And non-attachment. So there will be a moment in which you will have to leave what you're doing right now for a greater good, not only for yourself but for also others. Others which, let's say, energetically depend on you, and move towards something else. Move entirely from this psychic gift type of phenomena. Just simply not renounce it, but say goodbye to it for even higher kind of calling. That happens a lot. Let's see what else can come through here. Because the level of, there are, as I'm saying, there are many traditions. There are many traditions. So this is Eight of Pentacles in reverse. Here is this kind of emphasis on the fact that none of this should be ever done in order to gain some sort of material benefit. It's just simply not for it. Here we have letting go in reverse and breakthrough. And this is what I was talking about before, that psychic gifts as a phenomena, as something very unique and mysterious, they exist as long as one usually for like more like everybody, for the ordinary person. They exist as long as this person entirely heal their own chakra system. Then they may fade away, or they may disappear. That's possibility. Until somebody has like a major breakthrough, until a moment somebody has a major breakthrough, they may shift the form, they may change, but the priority will definitely change, even if somebody is gifted. More sacrifices are needed. All the time, really, more sacrifices are needed. You have to be really, really brave to be on this path. Let's see another one. What's the other advice here, Spirit? Exhaustion and postponement. So, as I was saying, when you don't keep a balance between your practical, real life, and you're exhausting yourself with the spiritual journey, it will be postponed. You will be put back kind of to sleep for a while in order to balance out everything else which happens around you. There are requirements. It's just simply self-regulating system. You're gonna go down, your energy will go down, and you will not be able to host any energy which works through you. One thing, the spiritual gifts are not yours. That's very important thing to say. They don't belong to you. In fact, nothing belongs to you at all. They are a tool. They are an ability which is the requirement as an act of service. Otherwise, they won't be there. An act of service might look different ways. You don't necessarily have to be a tarot reader and talk about it, and talk about your vision and what you see. You might as well be quiet about it, completely quiet about it. But still work in order to sustain some sort of energetic field, some sort of energy. The window just opened on me itself, okay? Every time you will be exhausted, it will be renounced. Here I'm again saying it for somebody who just now starting to discover they do actually have the spiritual gifts. Just for you not to freak out that you did something wrong. You know how many times people who do have actually spiritual gifts, they are extremely fearful and extremely scared, not only about what they see, hear, or perceive, also about the fact that they actually don't. The appearance they don't, and it's okay if you don't. It's not a problem. It's just this is a process which is a process of natural unfoldment. Oftentimes you may start to listen to tarot reading and you hear, okay, somebody wants to trick you out of your spot. Somebody wants to do this, and that to you. Sometimes it's a case. Sometimes it's a lesson to be learned. And usually a lesson is to give up the ownership over anything in your life. Especially like psychic gifts which they may come from root chakra. You know, this is you see, this is different. They may come from root chakra, but it's as far as you have to go. You have to go to the universal chakra, sometimes ninth chakra, but usually universal chakra. You need to be at this level. You need to resonate on this frequency to activate the root chakra. For many people, and many people, I know people who are being born as intuitive individuals, somebody with very good intuition, like they actually know stuff. They don't have spiritual gifts for a very long time. That's because not only the root chakra is horrible state, They don't exercise, they don't eat properly, they don't care about themselves physically, they don't know how to do sensory things at all. And other than that, they're not yet in this universal energy where they are actually out of ego, don't have ego attachments. They have healthy ego. The ego is not something which we have to kill. We are, of course, there is a process of it fragmenting completely, yeah? And we just like then going through all those parts of fragmented whatever we are, whatever we consider ourselves to be, and piecing it back together into a healthy version. Ego is not something stable. Ego is something with fluid, which we always changing, elastically changing as well. That's why all those like Jungian typologies are actually, as I went through it, I've been interested in it for years, like about 20 years. In the end, they're very helpful on a part of your journey, but then they become, how to call it, not enough. They become restrictive, they become a blockage for sure. Yeah, that's one thing too. Let me see what more. Fighting in reverse, and there is some sort of I'm hearing faith, faith, having faith. One other blockage, and it is over intellectualization. This area of the psychic gifts, of spiritual gifts. This is the zone in which the active part of them existing is you having faith in them. If you are over analyzing it, if you are looking at this from a standpoint of real earthly 3D logic, you are revoking their existence. 2727. And nothingness here came. So also, I wanted to mention this because it's actually like nothingness. It's such thing doesn't exist because the fact that we exist, the fact that everything around us exists, the fact that we have this beautiful complexity of the world is the sacrificed unity. And this is the nothingness card, and this is actually a Hierophant card. And here nothingness makes sense. I don't know if the author was thinking this. I'm gonna admit, I never read the descriptions of the card. I never do. I actually never did in any tarot deck. I only read one book about tarot. See, this is the gift of being intuitive, where you don't actually have to read everything in order to get the main idea about something. I even compared it to non-regular cards to play, and I actually understood it. But let's see, let's not diverge. Nothingness. Here this card represents a Hierophant. And this is a person who is actually somebody who is, how to call it, who is a guardian of unity. His mindset is actually that everything is literal unity, and it's a gatekeeper. And it's not only that, it's oftentimes people consider it to be the closest to like absolute, this very card. It's somebody who is extremely conservative. It's somebody who is a gatekeeper, who keeps things from being created, who always tests what cannot be created. Every high priestess has this quality within the archetype. That's why oftentimes this is high priestess. High Priestess is not a tarot reader. That's one thing. Because we have various types of tarot readers with various types of personal karma and possibilities. And they read various things. It's not always advisable from a higher standpoint, from a spirit guides, for a person to know what is going to happen. There's one thing, very important. That's why we're not talking about this low level stuff, because they do exist. There are people who doing it, and they're not ending up well. They think the dark entities are it's just a thing which from my experience, from what I've seen, from my psychic journeys, those are people who are in spiritual contracts with demonic entities, with lower entities, and they always have to pay a price. There always have to be a price. If you go to a practitioner or a tarot reader, you are getting yourself into karmic contract with this tarot reader. The energy is all not clear. There always has to be a sacrifice, and you are in the realm where you do actually receive karma for doing so. That's the one thing I have to say. And even through it actually goes against what the tarot reader is supposed to say to somebody, classically. It is said in the Bible, after all. It is said in many traditions that there is a difference between tarot reader and high priestess. That's one important thing too. And we all learning. Okay, we have two queens. It's a Queen of Cups and Queen of Pentacles. These are the characters, these are the archetypes, which, well, one of them, Queen of Cups, is very close to, this is what I was saying, not every tarot reader is a high priestess. Who is tarot reader? Usually those two archetypes. Somebody who is materialistically inclined, somebody who didn't renounce the worldly pleasures, somebody who didn't renounce the materialistic lifestyle, somebody who is still very much in it. If they are intuitive and they have psychic gifts, they have this open crown chakra, and they have high empathy, and they do genuinely want to help people, yet they don't go above it. And they may have a spiritual gift at a certain level. This is a level which is, see, it's hard to say if it's truly psychic or not. From a standpoint of like psychoanalysis, those are the characters which have the highest amount of empathy, these two archetypes together. They are extremely good at reading social cues. They are extremely good at reading micro expressions. They are extremely good at reading subtle energy of a person in its emotional sense. They oftentimes can read somebody just by looking at them, like just by whatever they wear. They can quickly connect this information, and they may look like a successful psychic on tarot readers. This is who you're usually going to. I'm saying they may or may not be higher than that, but yeah, that's actually all about it. That's most of people, and they will be good at these positions. They will be good where they are, and they may slowly be opening those psychic abilities. But as I was looking through the online space, it's a lot of people like that out there. They are wonderful people. They are wonderful people. It's just that this is the level. Okay, something more I want to go through. Okay. Okay, so this is the thing about also spiritual gifts. So I was saying this Queen of Cups, Queen of Pentacles as an archetype is somebody who has this deep intuition about a person. Um, it oftentimes is that, how to call it? Well, here we have those four cards. So there is a level of awareness, right? There is a level of lack of awareness about devil energy, about control, about the lion hidden amongst the sheep. So there is, and where were you? Somebody is on the level of Hierophant, right? The spiritual teacher, the somebody who is guarding the unity of things. Here, this awareness is very much is there. Like all the awarenesses are there. It's just this the character here. The Hierophant is completely unmovable. This is unmovable character with a solid moral code. It's a gatekeeper. It's somebody who is there for a reason. This is somebody who would test you if you can go further than that, you know. Here, this Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Cups, as a tarot reader, they usually are not aware about possible damage which can be done. This is like a people who may be sometimes compared to this first person who gives you a joint. That's the best I could come up with, huh? They opening you to this realm of possibilities, and what you encounter there is repeatably this energy. The more you gain, the more psychic input you gain from somebody, the more you give away to that a little bit, the more responsibility you're taking on yourself, the more the darker side of things you have that in your life. So the further from actual purity you are, because as I said, the absolute purity, when your actual chakra centers are being completely clear, if you are a tarot reader and if you are a psychic and working in this universal energy, if you are a high priestess, you actually giving your body to that, you're giving your vessel to that. So the energy is in your centers. As I'm oftentimes saying, I feel pain here, 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 there, there, and everywhere. This is me giving myself to the energy which is incoming in this very moment. This is me holding a lot of negative energy in my body in order to being able to warn somebody or to deliver a message to somebody. So, and here another thing. Oftentimes this kind of, let's say tarot readers, people who have this like pranatana, this pranic activity which runs through their body, like 99% they talk about is their own traumas usually. Those are people who started too early, who started at the level of like, well, 8th chakra. When they already open crown chakra, they start to feel this spiritual abilities, start to feel. I wouldn't start that. I actually did, but repeatedly, like my spirit guides wouldn't let me post any videos back then at all. So, and it will be going through their own personal traumas. Of course, there are many people who relate to it. Of course, there are patterns, but still, it is a little bit unfair. So you see, this is kind of like a projection. Instead of solving something within yourself, truly within yourself, somebody is projecting it outwardly, and this is like an act of kind of like a chaos magic, I would say. Because you are already aware that everything is within you already, even though that it's not exactly, but because you're not yet in this very center, but you know that your words may or may not, if somebody believes in them, come to existence from somebody else. Therefore, it's not advisable to give your karma, your personal, let's say karma, to somebody else by talking about it. So you see somebody searching for culprit, because usually the tarot reader, who is not yet high priestess, it's somebody who is not yet able to see beyond certain illusions of this material reality. So that's why this is like a warning. Like, I think what I wanted to say here, how much responsibility it is. Maybe it will bring like somebody closer to understanding it. Maybe it will, because there are many people, me included, I really wanted to go back go back to what was before. Genuinely wanted to go back to what was before. Many times, until I accepted the state of affairs and the responsibility. And I definitely treat it as a gift, and I wouldn't want to do anything else. Then I'm grateful for everything which is in my life, and I'm really happy that finally portions of ancestral karma, which is very relatable to many. I need to admit, I oftentimes talk from a standpoint of generational karma, which I don't think I necessarily entirely solved. Okay, so here we talk about integration. So moving to yet another level. And it's just interesting, there's an eagle and a swan. It's very important. I reckon almost like a phoenix and a swan. So the equal amount of gentleness as this transformative fire energy. I hear something really weird. Yeah, I don't want to stop this video right now. Yeah, so definitely I'm gonna do another reading. I'm gonna do just traditional tarot reading after this completion. So hopefully somebody understood in this video that impermanence of spiritual gifts, importance of being uncorruptible, because it might be, so many people consider it to be a power. It's not. It shouldn't be used as power. It's not superpower. It's meant to heal others and uplift others, and that's the only purpose, really.